Hey guys, it's Alaija, aka the Kingdom Babe here, and welcome back to the Kingdom Babe Show. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. It is a good 91 degrees today. It's probably one of the third or fourth hottest days of this year so far, and I'm super excited about that because I just got an air conditioner for the Kingdom Babe studio. I was sweating it out a couple times in here, guys, not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And if you hear a noise in the background, that's exactly what it is. I'm trying to cool off the room and give it some breathing space. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I hope that it's beautiful weather where you guys are. Of course, you guys are from Jamaica, so I feel like it's 10 times better than where I am anyway. But I would never know because I've never been. So I hope everything's going well for you guys, like I said. Super excited to be talking to you guys today. It is officially summer. And that means a couple things. It means, well, more hot days to come. It's officially consistently going to be extremely hot all the time. And I'm not upset. I think summer is one of the most beautiful seasons of the year, of course. But I just don't have any good summer clothes. So I gotta go shopping. And maybe that's something we can do together. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about things that we could do together because I'm trying to change my work schedule so that I can talk to you guys, do a little bit of maybe some vlogging, like going out to some nice places and taking you guys with me. So of course, summer activities are now opening up and it's a lot more to do here. But anyway, so with that being said, June is actually almost over, which is crazy because this is the 6th month of 2022 and we are halfway through it and about to start this next half. And it's insane because it kind of blew past. As much as I feel like it took a long time, now that I'm actually thinking about it and talking about it, I'm like, wow, it's actually the second half of 2022 already. That's just something I always kind of do. Every month I kind of look into it and be like, wow, what did I learn from this month? Not only that, I will be turning 25 in 2 months. So I'm even more excited about that because I'm a summer baby. So my birthday's during the summertime, of course, and I always look forward to it once it starts. I count down the days, well, I used to. Nowadays, it's just me making sure that I remember that I'm turning a certain age and what age that will be exactly. I guess it comes with getting older, but I don't know, it's just different. I want to celebrate my birthday this year, like with a party and stuff, but I just don't know, like, it's easier said than done, I guess. I just have to put it all into play, get enough money up so I can save up for a party and stuff like that. But yeah, the Kingdom Babe is turning 25 this year. This is crazy because I remember being younger and being like, I wonder what I'm gonna be like when I'm this age, when I'm that age. And 25 is one of the ages I've always been curious about. So I'm really excited to see what 25 is gonna be like, what it's gonna feel like for me, what God has in store for me. And I mean, I'm always gonna be curious about what God has in store for me. I mean, in my spirit as of lately, I have been having this expectant feeling. And there's only a certain time of year where I usually have this feeling. I had it a couple months ago, back in 2021. And the things that manifested after I experienced that were insane. Like, I had a promotion in my job. I got a new job title. I started getting paid more. It was just crazy. Like, I had a different shift and view on things in life. And then I found out that I was gonna have a show, and that was also just completely unexpected, but my spirit within me was expecting it, knew it. God had already put that in place for me. So my spirit was just kind of leaning on that blessing that God was preparing for me, and kind of knew before my physical body or physical mind or brain could even comprehend how all these beautiful things could happen to someone like me. I feel like sometimes we're really just in shock by how good God really is. And well, I know for me, I never think I'm deserving of anything. Even though I try my best to be a good person, even though I try my best to do what God asks me to do, what God wants me to do, who God has called me to be, and I try to follow and read the word and apply it to my life and be that person that God has intended for me to be. And even while doing all that, when God's blessings finally drop, I still never feel like I'm worthy of it. I still never feel like I deserve it. It's just like, you know, God shows up and shows out on my behalf so many times. And 2021 was one of those years. It was like a glow up for me. So I have that feeling again, and I don't know, I'm excited. I have to share it because I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know if I should be planning something, if I shouldn't be planning something. Like, I feel like, of course, God's plans are going to take place regardless, but I feel like, I don't know, overthink. That's my problem. I overthink, and here I am starting to just create scenarios in my head. But either way, it's a good thing. I'm looking forward to whatever God has planned and in store for me, and I don't know what to expect. That's the crazy part. I don't know what to expect. So I think that's where my physical human brain is like, you got to think of something so that you can calm yourself down so that you know what's going on, because I'm the kind of person that likes to be prepared for everything, and I need to know certain details and things before certain other things happen. Yeah, I overthink a lot. I'm working on it, I promise. But with that being said, I just kind of want to share something with you guys that I experienced as I'm reflecting over this past 6 months of 2022. I'm reflecting a lot over this specific month of June in general. I had a weird kind of month in June, and it was just like, what's going on? Like, what just happened? Like, huh? Like, first, I did my own hair, and I don't know if you guys can see all the details, but they're just like passion twist. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. This is really cute. It was a long time, but well needed hairstyle, because these days when it's too hot for me to continue to slick my hair back in a nice little ponytail and keep it pushing, I just wake up, take my scarf off, take my bonnet off, and these twists are popping. They're lit. I can go to work, I can come home, put my scarf and bonnet back on, not worry about having to do anything. I just do my edges occasionally. But even if I don't want to do my edges, my hair still slays. Like, it still hits. You know what I mean? So, really excited about that. Just wanted to put that out there. I did my own hair, and I'm super proud of myself for that, because I was about to pay somebody like $200 to do this. And I was like, Lage, pause. You know how to do stuff. Why are you acting like you don't? Keep your money, sis. Save your money, okay? So I did exactly that. And I did my hair myself. And so this is what it looks like. I have it up today because it is so hot. And putting all of my hair up at the same time is kind of a lot because it's really heavy. But I thought it was a cute updo, half up, half down do with a little twist. So yeah, anyway, back to the reflection of June 2022. I had a moment, believe it or not, guys. I had a spiritual, like, I don't know, awakening or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but God spoke to me. I had a very weird situation. I got bit by a spider or something. It was really weird, and I woke up, and it actually was right here where you see this little mark. The blister has come off, and the scab from the blister has come off, so it's just this little patch. It's still healing, but trust me, this is nothing compared to what it really looks like. It was ugly, it was disgusting, it was painful, and believe it or not, something so small really put me out for like a good week and a half. I feel like I couldn't use my arm or hand for 2 days straight. My right hand, this is. And so basically, I woke up one day and I was getting ready for work, and I noticed that I had a little sensitivity right where this mark is. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, it felt like I had a paper cut maybe. And I looked down and I saw these little marks, like 3 little marks on my hand. I was like, did something bite me? Like, are you kidding me right now? First of all, I hate bugs. So I immediately was offended. Like, why are you on my hand? And you waited for me to go to sleep. Like, you're really a punk. Because you know if I was awake, I would have rolled up on you with a nice shoe. Real nice grande size shoe, you know? But anyway. So there was a spider sighting in my room 2 days earlier. Immediately in my head, I assumed that it was that spider that bit me. We never got the spider. It escaped our grasp. Hence the mark on my hand a day later. Whatever. I have this mark. I went to work. It was just a mark at the time, but I did notice it. I did feel it just a little bit. It wasn't extremely painful, but I did notice it. Like I said, it was a little bit of sensitivity there. By Saturday night, Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, I would say, I did have a little bit more pain in my entire hand. It went from just a spot to my fingers and a little bit of my palm of my hand. I really didn't pay any attention. I thought that, hey, it's gonna heal or do whatever. And this is probably what it's gonna go through for the time being. But whatever. I didn't pay much attention. I've been bitten by things before, unfortunately. They itch, they hurt a little bit, they stay there for a day or two, they leave a mark for another day or two, and then they go away. Not really paying it any attention, not really considering that I need to take a specific kind of care to my hand that I usually wouldn't. Sunday night, Monday morning, I'm kind of in pain. And I had pain not just in my hand, but in my entire right arm, up to my right shoulder was in pain. And that's when I started to get a little concerned, because I was trying to figure out why this was gonna make my entire arm in pain. I also had some swelling under my arm area right here, and it was completely different than this arm. And I started also getting some tightness in my chest and neck area right here, and I had a little bit of shortness of breath. So I was a little concerned about that as well. And at that point, I told my mom. But I was like, listen, I have to work on Tuesday morning, which would have been the next morning. So I'm gonna see how I feel when I wake up. And if I'm good, I can go to work. I'm not gonna be worried about it. Like, the pain relievers worked and I'm good to go. So my mom agreed. She was like, listen, if anything else happens, let me know. You know, we'll figure out what we're gonna do from there. So I'm like, okay, cool. Wake up the next morning, I feel better as far as my pain in my arm. However, I started losing feeling in my fingers. So these 4 across the top, and the bottom of my palm was like tingly. It was just a weird like sensation, and I couldn't really use my fingers completely. However, because I wasn't in pain necessarily, I took it as, okay, whatever, just kind of wing it, you know, fake it till you make it. I only worked for the morning at my job that day, so I was like, whatever, I'm gonna be out early probably. It's gonna be a slow day. It's not really anything I'm really concerned about. As I'm getting ready for work, I realized that I can't lift my arm above my chin. So I'm like, this could be a problem, you know? I can't really lift my arm. Anyway, I still persist and go to work. I just don't take it easy on myself when it comes time to what I can and can't do. I pushed myself, and to a degree, I could handle it. So I was like, whatever, I'll just, like I said, fake it till I make it. I get to work, I tell my manager, like, hey, I just want to let you know, my arm's a little sore, that I got a bug bite, a spider bite, whatever. And I show her my bite, I tell her about my arm, and she like starts freaking out. She's like, no, you should go home, you should rest. As a matter of fact, you should go to the doctor, you should go to the urgent care to do something, because like, why you feel this way? You can't feel your fingers, you can't whatever. So I got sent home from work before it even started. And with that being said, my parents came and got me, and me and my mom went to the urgent care. And I wasn't in too much pain at the time. I just couldn't feel my fingers, and I really just couldn't lift my arm without the swelling in my arm being triggered, if that makes sense. I went to urgent care. They didn't know what kind of bite it was. They didn't know what to expect by the blister on my hand. So they took blood tests and checks for infections and things that could have, you know, been going on there, if there was anything wrong in my blood. And glory be to God, there was no problem, there was no infection. So I kind of just had to stick it out. And by late Tuesday night, I had a blister where the spot was, and the instruction was not to use my arm or my hand for the rest of the day. Sit still, relax, do not elevate my arm. I have to completely let it rest. My lymph nodes is what it's called under your arm, well, under where it was swollen were my lymph nodes, and it was swollen because it was fighting off whatever was going on in my hand and in my arm. No, there was no infection, but apparently bug saliva just doesn't go with human body analogy. So whatever, my arm was kind of going through it, and until the blister opened and the pus came out, my arm was going to feel this way. Tuesday went on, I couldn't use my hand and my arm, so now I'm feeling like, okay, a little irritated, a little upset, because why'd I have to get bit? Like, what's up? Even more upset because if I'm gonna get bit by a spider, like, at least give me some like spider webs or something. Like, I didn't get nothing. I'm not swinging off nobody's building. Like, I don't have no superpowers. So now I'm a little offended because, like, wow, not even a good spider to where you leave me with superpowers. Like, come on, like, what's up with that? So anyway, my hair wasn't done for 2 days. It was just a lot going on. I couldn't text with my right hand. I couldn't grab or hold anything in my right hand. So I literally had to do everything with my left hand and arm. And I found weird ways of doing that because unfortunately, I am not left-handed whatsoever. I'm only and predominantly right-handed. So my left hand is just like kind of there for show, I guess, at times. And this is where things kicked in for me on a spiritual level because I started to get frustrated. And so here I go, I get into prayer and I'm like, God, why? Like, I can't work. I was out of work. I went home from work on that Tuesday, but I was actually out of work for the rest of the week because of me having to rest, waiting for this to be like to drain the fluid that was in my hand. Even to the point where I was like, I can't use my hand because if this pops or opens prematurely, I can get an infection. And that's just a whole nother can of worms I don't want to have to be dealing with. So I was told not to use my hand at all. Do not have it covered at times when I have to use it. And if I don't, leave it, open and let it do its thing naturally. Do not pop it. Do not open it yourself. Do not force it to drain. Let it do it by itself. The only thing I could do was take pain relievers and put warm compresses on my hand. I could not do anything else besides rest. And I'm like, how long, God? Like, how long is this really gonna last to where I'm not gonna be able to do things? God spoke to me. And it was crazy because I didn't know I needed this moment in my life to take place. I thought I was good. God said, well, why are you upset with your left hand? You've never used it. Like, it's not strong like your right hand because you never used it. And so I'm like, I guess that's pretty obvious. But then God also revealed to me that I depended on myself more than I depended on God to take care of me, to heal my hand, to allow me to go back to work, to allow me to do my hair and do all the things I wanted to do. And I said, oh, so this is more than a spider bite. This is, okay, I see. I see what you're trying to do, God. I see what you got going on. This has become personal as to where I was taking it physical. This was more so of a spiritual, more so personal me and God moment because I was doing that. I was depending on my physical self to be able to do things that I needed to do, to take care of myself, to make my money. I depended more on my job and me having to be at my job on time than I depended on God to take care of me, to take care of healing me, to take care of doing the things that I thought needed to be done on a daily basis that only I could do. But in reality, I was depending on myself more than I was depending on the Heavenly Father. And so this went from a physical healing to a spiritual healing. God reminded me in this very moment that I'm only human. Things are gonna happen to me that are gonna be out of my control. I'm not always going to be strong. I'm not always going to be well to do things. One day, like that day, my hand was out of order. It was unusable and it was not of any use for me. And God says, this is why we have to be stronger in spirit than in flesh. I had to learn physically that I'm not as strong as I think. My flesh is weak. And I have to be reminded of these things because day in and day out, I rely on my flesh to wake me up in the morning, to get me to work, get myself ready, to work strong and do other things that I need to do when I get home. But in reality, it's God's strength that helps me do what I do, not myself. I depended on my flesh more than I depended on the spirit. And that's what God was revealing to me. And I said, wow, this is a good mid-year reevaluation because I was not thinking of it that way. Up until this point, if I couldn't do something, I got very upset. I didn't ask God to help me do that thing. I just got upset and kind of got angry because I couldn't do that thing physically. God says, why didn't you turn to me? Why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you trust in me? Why didn't you lean on me? Why did you trust in your flesh or depend on your flesh more than you depended on me? God still brought me out of what was holding me down. And for me, I was floored. I was like, what? I never looked at it that way, Father. I'm sorry. Because I'm complaining, but that's true. You have to learn how to put your trust in the right thing. And this is what I want to share with you guys today because I feel like it's not just gonna be my situation. You might not have a situation like me where you get bit by something. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you might have a time in your life, you might be going through a time in your life where you don't do things the way you usually do. Things don't go your way. And then you start to depend on other things to help you get through that situation other than our God. God is who is in control. God is our present help. I do know where my help comes from. It comes from God. And while this might be something small and something laughable to many people, even to me, I laugh at myself in this situation because of how childish I was, how foolish I was. But I take this moment very seriously as well because I learned something from it. I learned how important it is not to trust in my physical strength more than I trust in my God spiritually. Because what happens spiritually stands more than anything physically ever could. My right hand is not always going to be strong. I'm not always going to be strong. But my God is my present help and my strength forever. I shared this with you guys today to help you guys hopefully see that if you're going through something in your life right now, not to depend on yourself, not to depend on other people, not to depend on other things to help you, because God is your help outside of anything, anyone, even yourself. And as I reevaluate myself and how far I've come so far in this year, this was a good way to close that reevaluation, my mid-year reevaluation of what it's been like so far, what I need to work on, what I need to be better at, what I need to focus on. God is making heavenly changes on this very earth that we are on right now. And God is moving, God is working, and God is preparing us for what he has in store for us, preparing us for better things, preparing us for bigger things. And sometimes we have to go through this moment of reevaluation so that we can see clearly when these things come to us. I didn't know that I needed to see that. I didn't know that I needed to go through that. I didn't know that God wanted me to know that. But it's good to know that God is still active, that he still cares enough to show us our faults without really punishing us. We deserve much more of a punishment than we could even possibly understand. God is merciful. He's a forgiving God. He's a God of second chances. So we have these second chances and we have these times and these opportunities to grow and to do better. I could have just ignored everything God said to me and just continued to pout, continued to be upset because I physically couldn't do things. But I decided to put that to the side and say, you know what, God? I give you control over me. I surrender to you today, again and again and again. Each and every day I surrender more and more to you because I know that I can't do this by myself. This is something I can't do on my own. So I'm grateful for that moment in my life, even though it was very hard and difficult and kind of rare because that never happened to me before. But I was very grateful for that moment because it was one of the best things that God showed me, is that I need to depend on him more. And then I need to stop depending on myself. Stop killing myself and pushing myself to do things when I should be physically resting, when I should be allowing myself that time to recover. Stop allowing myself to be overworked. And if I need to heal, I need to heal. I need to go through that moment. I need to trust that God, even in those days where it's not going according to my schedule or going according to my plan, that when that happens, I trust God, that I don't get upset, that I don't get frustrated, because I know that if God has veered me off the course that I planned for myself, then I'm in good hands, because I don't know what was at the end of the path that I chose. So I thank God for redirection that he has given, for protection that he always gives. We don't know what he protects us from on a daily basis, but I'm so grateful that he does protect, that he does redirect, and that he does give us second chances, that he gives us the time to open our eyes and see what we need to see. I really hope that this helps you guys today, because like I said, I think we all should do something about reevaluation. It's good to check in on yourself and see what you need to work on every now and then. There's so many things that we need to change, so many things that we need to come out of or grow into. And sometimes we're so busy in our own daily schedule that we don't realize that. So I'm glad that I got that experience, and I hope for you guys that you guys can experience the same thing. Maybe not so much getting bit by a spider, but you know what I'm trying to say. As you guys get to experience being able to reevaluate yourself, renew yourself, revamp yourself in God and his spirit, re-glow up, you know what I mean? I'm about to be 25 years old. I'm psyched. I feel like something is coming that has never been before. I don't know what it is. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what God has in store for me. So I'm glad that that moment of my life is out the way, that I learned my lesson. And now, because I learned my lesson, I have an expectation. I have this feeling like, whew, now that I know that, God, I can tell you got something going on, and I can't wait to see what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I really hope this helps you guys. Like I said, try reevaluating yourselves. Look back on the past 6 months of this year and see how far you've come, what you've learned, what you should imply for the next 6 months, and what we should focus on for the next 6 months as well. And before you know it, we'll be back here on New Year's Eve doing the same thing, learning the same stuff. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to follow me on social media at _JesusLivesInHer_7. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, the Kingdom Babe is